my name is Ayana, and I'm assuming if you're watching this video, it's because you've recently been diagnosed with lupus. You think you have lupus, you have a family or friend who has lupus, and you want to know some more information about what it is and what to expect. Obviously, I'm not a doctor. I am not going to be giving any medical advice. Anything I say is my experience. Hopefully, hearing that will either give you some comfort or give you some tips on how you too can manage it. So I was diagnosed with lupus on November 12th. I'm lying. It was November 9th, 2012. It was 3 days after my 31st birthday. It took me about 2 years, only 2 years, to have my official lupus diagnosis. I say only because a lot of the people I talk to, they have been in and out of doctor's office for many years without any answers, and I honestly cannot imagine how frustrating that could be. I started having really bad pains in my hand. I ignored them because, you know, I'm young and free and living my life. The thought of having an illness or anything that was serious was not something that automatically popped in my head. Plus, I don't have a family history of lupus or any autoimmune diseases. Actually, I'm lying. My dad's side has gout. So when my hand started hurting, I didn't think it was anything. I honestly thought that since I had a desk job, excuse me, that it was from typing. I probably had carpal tunnel syndrome, also being on my phone all the time, usual everyday stuff. I Googled some stuff. I started wearing a brace, got an ergonomic keyboard, adjusted my chair, did all kinds of behavioral things to try to mitigate the feeling in my hand. That didn't help, and it got worse over time. So I ended up going to my general practitioner, who then referred me to a hand-foot specialist who diagnosed me with tendonitis. He gave me some kind of topical cream, suggested a hand brace. I started wearing the hand brace. All right, life's good. Wearing the hand brace, using the cream, still having pain. He then suggested I get a cortisone shot. No, I'm good. No, thank you. I appreciate you. I am going to hope that everything gets better. Nothing got better. They gave me a big ass cortisone shot. I was fine for about 2-3 months. I'm living my life. Everything's great. One morning I wake up and my hands are stuck like this, like literal crab claws. To bend them, to straighten them was just not happening. I had to literally use my wrist like this to open my door. I went and took a hot shower, and the hot water relaxed my hands. So I was like, all right, that was weird. Again, I'm healthy. I don't got anything to worry about. And I went to work and went on my life. Literally the next morning, I wake up the same thing, right? So now I'm freaking out. Now I'm like, this is not right. I called my dad. Now, I don't have a good relationship with my dad, so for me to pick up the phone and call this man, that was a big deal. That's how in pain and that's how scared I was. I called my dad, and because again, he is the one with gout and it runs on that side of the family. And I was like, hey, this is what's happening with my hand. Is this gout? Because I hope I don't have it, because number one, that's like a really old ass throwback disease. I don't want to be no chick with gout, and I don't need gout in my life. I just don't. My dad was like, that does not sound like gout, but what it does sound like is you need to go to the doctor. And for an old Caribbean man to tell me that I need to go to the doctor, I was like, yeah, I'm going to take your advice. I'm going to go to the doctor. I show up at my general practitioner's office, and apparently I, unbeknownst to me, was running a fever. He immediately was like, okay, I need you to go downstairs and get some blood drawn. Now I'm confused because my hands hurt. Why do you need to draw my blood? The next day, I think it was the next day or two, I received the blood work back along with my doctor telling me that he needs to do additional tests. So I sent it to my sister and one of my sorors, my sorority sisters, who are nurses. Both of them said that my lab suggested I have an autoimmune disease. Now, this is the first time in my life I have ever heard the term autoimmune disease. To Google I go to find out I'm gonna die, because literally that's what you think when you go on Google, inserting your illnesses or your ailments or your symptoms. Of course, I see things about rheumatoid arthritis, and I see the most horrible pictures of people's hands looking like old witches. And I was like, oh my gosh, I'm only 30. Yeah, I'm 30 at that point. I'm gonna be a witch. I got an email from my doctor. I have lupus. I literally started to cry. I don't feel sick, so I don't understand how I have a disease. Never had a disease before. I don't know how these things work. At this point in my life, I was a Weight Watchers leader. I had lost 65 pounds. I am super healthy. I went completely vegan. I'm cooking like 95% of my meals. I'm limiting alcohol. I mean, I am living the most healthiest life. I'm exercising 6 to 7 days a week. I've done everything from P90X to Insanity to Asylum. I am bad. I got little ab muscles. I mean, I'm looking cute. I'm also very confused how I am this healthy. I have just gotten this healthy. I am so healthy that I'm teaching other people how to be healthy. How in the do I have a disease? A disease that has no cure, but life's not fair. I scheduled an appointment for the rheumatologist, and she was like, all right, you have lupus. Like literally, that's what she said. You have lupus. And I was like, cool, cool, cool. She prescribed me Plaquenil, and she said, with this, it's a very, very safe drug. No real side effects. It might cause blindness. Go see an ophthalmologist every year to make sure that you're not going blind. All right, thank you. Thank you so much for that. They started asking me questions that made me even more scared. Have you experienced any hair loss? Any rashes on your face? Do you have any sores in your mouth or your nose? Should I be expecting these things? Because now I'm scared. No, sometimes this happens. Now I'm paranoid. Your mind starts thinking about the one strand of hair that fell out your head that you're now like, I'm going bald. As I researched more information on lupus, I started realizing why she was asking these questions, because these are symptoms of having lupus. I do not get the butterfly rash on the bridge of my nose. That's one of like the biggest symptoms. But what does happen is if I'm out in the sun too much, I will get not as bad of a rash, but you will see the red. I wasn't experiencing any of that at this point. She's like, do you have any questions? I'm really big on holistic diet and how to treat things. Again, I've never had a disease before. Is there anything that I can do as far as my behavior, as far as my diet, as far as my nutrition to help me manage this so that I don't have to rely on pills my entire life? Again, I'm 31 years old. Who wants to be taking pills for the rest of their life? She tells me, no, just take the pills, and just kind of rushes me off. Looking back and now having the experience of having lupus for many years, I know that is a sign of a doctor that I don't need to continue going to. 2 days later, I did not realize I was going to experience my first full-on lupus flare. What was happening to my body over the course of that time with waking up with the claw hands was my body was literally going into a flare. It was a Tuesday night, I remember, because I had Tuesday night Weight Watcher meetings. And I remember being at work, my engineering job, and feeling kind of just, you know, sometimes you feel, and I realized that no, sometimes most people don't feel, but when you have lupus, a lot of times you feel, and it becomes your new normal. So I'm at work feeling, and again, making excuses in my mind. I'm not thinking, hey bitch, you got lupus. That's why you feel like that. I'm just like, oh, I must have just not slept well. I go to my Weight Watchers meeting, and as the night is progressing, as I'm leading this meeting, I'm just feeling like I'm having the flu. Everything just kind of started to shut down. My body started to ache. I just started to feel tired. Everything started to hurt, but it was just like rapid time. Like I've had the flu before and it takes a few days for you to it fully set on. This was like happening in real time, like within the hour. I got home and just changed my clothes and just laid out. When I woke up that morning, I had arthritis throughout my entire body. When I say my entire body, I mean like from my jaw to the tip of my toes. Like the blanket hitting my foot made me scream. Everything hurt. It was no longer just my hands like claws. It was my whole body just in pain. I just felt so fragile. Just it hurt so much. I took the Plaquenil, she did tell me is it takes about 2 to 3 months for the Plaquenil to build up in your system before it actually starts doing what it's supposed to be doing. So in the course of those 2 to 3 months of it building up, you pretty much are just ass out. I am just in pain. I went from being perfectly healthy and exercising and going to my job, to my next job, and just living my life to just broken down. Like, I have no other words for how broken down I was. I don't know why I thought it would just pass. I was hoping that I would wake up the next day and just feel like myself again, because it came on quick. Maybe it will go away quick. Nope. I woke up the next day and I felt like pure trash again. It was unbearable. I was just crying. I didn't know what to do, so I called my doctor. But she was like, "Oh, you're just having a flare." What? Like, this is not normal to me. Like, you can't tell me, "Oh, I'm just having a flare." You're just having a flare. I'll send some prednisone to your pharmacy. That was the day I discovered this amazing drug called prednisone. Prednisone is a steroid. Literally, I took my dosage probably took 15 milligrams at that point. I don't remember exactly how much, but within 30 minutes, I started feeling instant relief. And over the course of a few days, I was back to normal. What black magic is this? I later learned that prednisone is not something you want to take for any extended period of time, because it will destroy your bones and you will end up with a big old moon face and gaining a ton of weight that you will have a hard time shaking. That was my first lupus flare. After that, I was on the Plaquenil. I went on and saw the ophthalmologist to make sure that I wasn't going blind. And I've been taking Plaquenil since then. I have had lupus flares since then. November of this year will make 8 years of me having lupus. My longest lupus flare to date has lasted 6 months. If you're hearing banging outside, I live in Brooklyn, New York, and I don't know if people are practicing for the 4th of July, but that's what it is. It's not gunshots. I hope it's not gunshots. If it's gunshots, I mean, I don't know. That is how I ended up getting diagnosed with lupus story. Thank you, and I look forward to putting up some more videos about lupus. Thanks. Bye.